Traders, this is Joel Alconin.
And my name's Jake Lecure. Welcome to Pre-Market Info.
Okay, is this just another small pullback in time to buy in the S&Ps? S&P's currently trading down 475 at 1489 and a quarter. Hit 1685 here in the pre-market session, our 4-day low right at that level, 84.50. So that's going to be your key support for the day. Coming back on the upside here, resistance at the close, 1694, made a high overnight at 93.50. But Jake, I mean, everyone's saying that this is just low volume. What do you think?
Well, Monday was actually the lowest trading volume day of the entire year so far. That includes the day before 4th of July. So I think we're just having a pretty low volume week here in general. You know, you've got very little economic data. We're coming off of earnings season here. I think there's just a lot of traders taking the week off. So, yeah, I think your hypothesis there could be very correct.
Okay, we're trying to take care of our echo here on our platform here. I hope that's a little bit better. If not, please let me know. Okay, moving on to some of our commodities here. Take a look at the gold market here. Gold continues its decline here, made a low in the pre-market at 1271.80. So we are going to keep an eye on that level.
Do have a little bit of a drop in crude this morning too, Joel? Looks like we're sitting around 105. Do you think we'll be able to break below that 105 level, or do you think we're going to rally up later today?
We will keep an eye. 104.86 was yesterday's low. So we will keep an eye on that level. Below that, we could be trading down in the 102 handle. We had the low of the move at 102.63.
As far as micro news goes, we did have a couple big companies reporting earnings yesterday. First up is Disney. Jill, your favorite house and mouse there. I got a EPS of $1.03 versus $1.01 estimate, so almost a 2% beat there. Revenues came in at $11.58 billion versus expected $11.64 billion. So a little bit of a miss on the top line by about 0.5%. Jill, what do you think of that report?
It's not what I think about it. It's what the market thinks about it. And we got the house and mouse trading here down $1. I guess the Lone Ranger didn't go over so well. Let's take a look at the pre-market activity here. We made a low at 65.79. We're getting a little bounce off of that. Let's take a look at the daily chart here to get a perspective. The house and mouse has had a real nice run up here. It's ran into some major resistance here at the $67 level. Now that we're pulling back, keep an eye. We had a low at 65.61. That coincides with the pre-market low at 65.70. Below that, Jake, we could be trading in the lower 65 handle. 65.13 was our 4-day low.
In other earnings yesterday, we did have First Solar reporting, so we're starting to get some data coming out of the solar companies, and EPS came in at 39 cents, missing expectations pretty heavily there. Analysts were looking for 53 cents a share. Revenues came in at 519.8 million versus expected 721.08 million. So pretty big miss on the top and bottom lines there. Company also released some guidance guiding the fiscal year 2013 EPS in a range between 354 and 402. Street was looking for 414. They also guided some revenue figures, 3.6 to 3.8 billion. Street was looking for 3.83 billion. So just kind of an all-around bad report there for First Solar.
Pre-market low 41.75 after the news hit. You got a major bounce up to 44, trading $1.25 off that. So we'll use that 44 level as your major resistance level. Jake, coming on the downside here, we hit 41.75 in the pre-market. We had a low on June 25th at 42.04. So now we're 75 cents above that. I keep a real close eye on that. Down $4. People have been shorting this issue up here and holding on above the 50 level. That's a nice little gain. Below that 4204 level, I don't think we're going to see the recent low that we had at 4046. But what do you think if you're a shareholder of SCTY and they got earnings coming out today? I think people are a little bit nervous about that.
Well, I think you've also got Tesla coming out today, so you got the Elon Musk trade going on at the same time. So it does look like traders are showing some skittishness from that first solar report. But I mean, let's say Solar City misses slightly, but Tesla beats huge. I wouldn't be surprised to see Solar City go up simply as people try to pile in to get that Elon Musk premium. I don't know. It should be interesting to see what goes on after the close.
What's interesting about that, Solar City is down a little bit, down 97 cents here in the pre-market. But if you take a look at the daily charts on this Solar City, I mean, we've been trading in this 40 to 45 range. We've bounced off 40 here, a couple times in the last few sessions, and then just seems to be allergic to the $45 level. You know me, I like those swing numbers, those 50% retracements. So we're trading above that 42.50 level, but I think we break down below 42.50. You can be looking at this thing trading right around 40.01 to 40.38.
In other earnings news after the close yesterday, we did have 21st Century Fox reporting earnings as well. That ticker is FOXA, Foxtrot, Oscar, X-Ray, Alpha. EPS came in at 42 cents, pretty much crushing estimates of 34 cents there. Revenues came in at 7.21 billion versus expected 7.12 billion, so a nice little beat there too. So it looks like all the analysts that were coming out with buys and overweight ratings were pretty right on this one.
They're coming out now, or they came out before?
No, actually, in this case, they actually came out before between July 2nd and it looks like 18th is when we had the real stream of ratings on them. So actually, the analyst looks like they've got something right here.
Yeah, well, even a blind squirrel can find an acorn every once in a while. Just take a look at that 33.02 that we hit in the pre-market, Jake. We spiked up there, trading 75 cents below that. Take a look at the dailies here. I'm going to have to go back a little bit farther here. Maybe I'll go to a weekly to set out this $33 level. It did trade there. Let me go back here. Chart malfunction here. That's not looking good at all. Well, 33 it hit on June 27th. It hit a 33.05 high, hit 33.03 in the pre-market. So if you travel back up to that area, keep an eye on $33.
Some other movers this morning include Bank of America, that's Bravo Alpha Charlie. Looks like we got some lawsuits coming in from the Justice Department on the company suing Bank of America for mortgage-related damages in a 2008 securitization case. Looks like it's really kind of taken Bank of America behind the woodshed. What do you got here on the technicals, Joel?
That's a big move. I mean, hitting that 14 and a quarter level, that's way overdone for this thing, and getting a bounce back up to 14.50 is where we're trading right now. I mean, it's action. I mean, it seems like they're always getting sued, by the government. I'll take an eye and keep an eye. 14.50. We've been in this 14.50 to $15 range here for the last 5-6 trading sessions. We did trade below it in the pre-market, but I still think you're going to find some initial support here at 14.40. Below that, you have the pre-market low at 14 and a quarter. The super major support is at 14.04 from July 17th, but that's just that would just be a huge move for Bank of America today, and it just doesn't seem like the market is going to have like a major killing today. So I'd keep an eye on that pre-market low, 14 and a quarter.
Another mover this morning is Finisar Corporation. That's Foxtrot November, Sandy Romeo. They released some preliminary Q1 data yesterday after the close, guiding its first quarter EPS between 30 and 31 cents. Analysts were looking for 24 cents, so they just raised like no other there. The company's previous guidance was 22 to 26 cents. They also guided revenue to 266 million. Analysts were looking for 253.6 million. So pretty solid jump there. in the guidance, and I think we're really seeing that in the chart. Joel, do you think we've got a ceiling on this anywhere today, or is this just going to be off to the races?
I mean, it's good news out of the company. You can't ignore that. Getting up to $24 on the initial spike in the pre-market. So if you're looking for a target on that, that's a good level. Since I'm hitting 24, I seem to be finding support. I'm in the stock right at the $22 level. So I think if I'm trying to hold on to this on the long side, it breaks below 22 here. You could get down. You did have yesterday's high at 2007, so that should be your first support point under 22. Looking at this stock longer term, it's really had a haircut since hitting 4609 back in 2010. But if you go to some of the monthly charts here, you did have resistance in February of 2012. He hit the 2350 level. So I think you see some sellers ahead of the 24 at 2350.
That takes care of some of the big movers this morning. We're going to jump into previewing some earnings after the close tonight. We do have Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, that's GMCR, reporting earnings after the close. EPS is expected to come in at 77 cents. That's a little bit better than 52 cents in the prior quarter. Revenue is expected to come in at $981.9 million versus the previous quarter revenue of $869.19 million. They did raise guidance on May 8th, so make sure you take that into account when doing your estimates. Joel, what do you think on the charts there for the report?
Well, I mean, it's just been, steadily moving up here. Yesterday's high, 82.51. The recent high that you had in the stock at 82.95. So you're getting some movement up here. I'd be looking at this 82.51 level all the way up to that 83 if I was looking to exit this thing. Boy, this thing has some pretty huge ranges. I'd keep an eye on the 70. I know we're $2 away. The 79.85, which was yesterday's low, but if it snuck back down there today, under there ahead of earnings, you can see the gap in the trading down here to the 75.43 level. But as long as we hold the 79.85 psychological $80 level, still set and poised to test that 82.95 high.
We actually have a lot of big momentum stocks coming after the close. We also have Groupon, GRPN, reporting earnings. Now, their last quarter, they reported 3 cents on the bottom line, which is right in line with expectations, and they reported $601 million for revenue. It looks like they're expected to report right in that range. They're expected to do $605 million in revenue, so just sitting right along lines with the last report. EPS is expected to come in at 2 cents per share. That's versus 8 cents a share in the same quarter last year. So pretty low expectations for Groupon here. You think they got a chance of beating expectations there, or what do you think, Joel?
I'm not a big fan of it, but a lot of people are, so we'll just keep an eye on the technicals here. And what I think's interesting about that stock is 3 out of the past 4 trading sessions, it snuck above the $9 level, but was unable to post a close above $9. So looks like someone's trying to wiggle out of some stock ahead of earnings at the $9 level. Coming back on the downside, your low from Friday and Monday, 858 to 863. That should be good support. If you're worried about taking the stock into earnings, it breaks below that 860 level. You may want to look to cover. But really, I mean, 850 to 9 has been the range for the stock for the last last 6 trading sessions.
Now we've got the real all-star of today's report. We got Tesla reporting after the close, expected to report a loss of 17 cents a share. Now the prior quarter was a loss of 89 cents a share, so it's a massive improvement. Now keep in mind they did actually report profitability last quarter, but most of that profitability was coming from pollution tax credits, which it looks like California is trying to revoke some of those. Revenue is expected to come in at $393.67 million. You compare that to the prior quarter, and it doesn't look like it's the same company. Their revenue of the same quarter last year was $26.65 million. So I mean, they're not even in the same ballpark. I think this is the report everybody's been waiting for a couple of weeks. It should be a good one to watch. Joel, what do you think on the charts? Should we be getting our popcorn out and ready for a show?
It's going to move. I wondered what the implied volatility is on it. But just from a technical standpoint here, you've had a couple attempted rallies here, and you did get over the $145 level. 145.73 yesterday, 144.89 the day before, but really quickly retreated off those levels. I keep an eye on a $140 level here. Two lows between 139.65 and 141.10. Don't think I'd want to be a holder of this issue if it broke below 140. If I had this stock in my portfolio, and if I did, I'd probably have it short. But if I did have it long, boy, I tell you, if there's some juicy premium and some of the calls to write 145, 150s, that might not be a bad idea. And then, we also talk about, buying, out of the money puts, for pittance here. Haven't looked at the premiums on this, but certainly if you've been a long-term holder of this stock and you're not taking some kind of protection here, I might be limiting your upside a little bit, but it might behoove you maybe to look at the 130 puts or something in case they take this thing out to the woodshed.
No kidding, that's going to be a wild report to watch. Moving over to the ratings desk, it looks like we do have a downgrade on, or an upgrade on Yum Brands this morning coming from Bank of America, moving it from an underperform to a neutral rating while moving that price objective from $60 to $69. Joel, what are you thinking on Yum here?
Well, do you think when they raise their price targets to 60 to 69, do you think they realize that it's trading at 74? I mean, Bank of America Merrill Lynch. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, that's, what if you're already shorted at 69? Anyways, I'm taking a look. Some major resistance building at the $75 level, 74.80, 74.84, last two highs in the stock. That's been the highs of the move, so it looks like someone's trying to wiggle out here, stock at 75, so keep an eye on that. If not, it could just keep on going. On the downside here, I see minor support between the lows from the last 2 days. Let's call it 73.80. Below that, you could be looking in the lower 73 handle.
We also do have Cantor Fitzgerald lowering CVS here from a buy to a hold rating while dropping the price target. Oh, big move here, 65 all the way to $62. So they are changing the rating, but they're really not moving that price target around a whole lot. You think this is going to move CVS at all today?
Well, CVS had a bad day yesterday. 459.49 low. That coincides with an old top that it had at 59.50. So keep an eye on that level. Below that, we could easily slide under the $59 level, perhaps to 58.72, which was our low on July 8th. Coming back on the upside here, these the even numbers, 60, 16 and a half now, I think will start building resistance after having a big down day like it had yesterday.
Moving over to some of the bigger names in general, Joel, what do you think on ExxonMobil today? Looks like you've got some technical stuff going on with a few names here.
Yeah, I mean, we're just, you had to sell off yesterday, and if you hear the mantra on, CNBC, every minor sell-off is a buy opportunity, which it has been here over the past couple months. But since announcing weak earnings here, ExxonMobil's just been banging on this $91 level. You've had several lows, 91.01 from 2 days ago. Yesterday you hit 91.28. Now they're low at 91.25, 91.34. Now you're trading down here in the pre-market. So it's basically going to be, your third, fourth attempt here at the $91 level. Minor support under 91, 90.57, and then you get to the 90 even level. And coming back on the upside here, the rallies have been capped at the whole number. Just stopped under 92 yesterday at 91.91.
We also do, looks like you have something setting up here in Apple as well.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got there?
Yep, I bet you the shorts are licking their chops here in Apple. Had a nice run, spent a little time over 470, but kind of caught a little sell-off off that. And how often do you see two lows within 2 cents here in Apple in the $400 stock? 462.15, 462.17. Don't think we quite got down there in the pre-market, but if you're holding on to your longs here, surely keep an eye on that 462 level because things open up to the downside to the mid 550s.
Now, you also did say you had something setting up here on IBM, something big going on there with its chart as well.
Yeah, the street's really picking on this stock. I sent out a little note on it yesterday. You are trading here below yesterday's low already. You're trading down a stick here at 188.994. So this stock, remember we had the big sell-off in the market, and we back after Bernanke was talking about interest rates. Well, this stock is almost back to that level. It traded back to 188.41 back on June 28th. We are trading under the $190 level, so that's going to be critical. If we get down to that 188.41, looking for that as the major support. And then you look at the weekly chart. That's been a major support point for a while. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Sure looks like that's where it's heading.
And it looks like you also have something big setting up on Johnson & Johnson here too. Is some kind of a triple bottom lining up here? That should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, triple bottom, consolidated ranges here. Taking a look at it on the daily here, you do have three lows between 93.43 and 93.50. We're holding right there in the pre-market. Does not hold that 93.50 level. I'd be looking for this stock to trade down to 93.02, which was your low on July 30th.
Well, it looks like that kind of covers what we've got on the micro side. Joel, what do you see on the futures for today? You think people will be able to make new highs or reverse some of this downtrend that we had just yesterday?
New highs? No, we're not going to see new highs today. I'd really be surprised after we're trading down 5 points here in the pre-market. I think you're going to run into a lot of trouble at the pre-market high, 93.50. That coincides with the close at 94 even, so that's going to be excellent resistance. Coming down under that 85 and a quarter, we're 4 points low there. Could be looking at the next support level at 16.80 and a quarter, the 5-day low.